Have you ever noticed that the harder you try to fall asleep, the more awake you feel? Or that the more desperately you want to impress someone, the more awkward you become? What if I told you that your intense desire for results might be the very thing blocking them from happening? Welcome to one of life's most powerful paradoxes, the law of reverse effect. Here's the truth that nobody talks about. Your excessive effort and obsessive caring are creating invisible barriers between you and your goals. It sounds completely backwards, right? We've been taught that success requires maximum effort, relentless focus, and caring deeply about outcomes. But there's a hidden force at play that flips this conventional wisdom on its head. The law of reverse effect states that the more you consciously try to do something, the less likely you are to succeed at it. When you stop forcing, stop obsessing, and release your grip on the outcome, results naturally flow toward you. This isn't about giving up or becoming lazy. It's about understanding the difference between productive action and counterproductive attachment. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. Remember how tense you were at first. Your knuckles white, gripping the handlebars, every muscle rigid with concentration. The harder you tried to balance, the more you wobbled. But the moment you relaxed, stopped overthinking every movement, and just let your body find its natural rhythm, everything clicked. That's the law of reverse effect in action. This principle operates in virtually every area of your life. When you're desperately trying to remember someone's name, it stays frustratingly out of reach. The second you stop trying, it pops into your mind effortlessly. When you're forcing creativity, staring at a blank page with intense determination, nothing comes. But when you walk away and do something else, ideas suddenly flood your consciousness. The science behind this phenomenon is fascinating. Your brain has two modes of operation. There's the conscious, effortful mind that tries to control everything. Then there's the subconscious, intuitive mind that processes information naturally and efficiently. When you try too hard, your conscious mind dominates and actually interferes with your subconscious abilities. It's like having a micromanager hovering over a talented employee, questioning every decision and creating performance anxiety. Let's talk about how this shows up in relationships. You meet someone you really like, and suddenly you're overthinking every text message. You craft the perfect response, delete it, rewrite it, analyze every word. You care so much about making a good impression that you become a version of yourself that isn't authentic. The other person senses this tension, this trying too hard energy, and it creates distance. But when you genuinely stop worrying about the outcome, when you show up as your natural self without attachment to their response, you become magnetic. People are drawn to that relaxed, confident energy. The same principle applies to your career and financial goals. When you're desperate for a promotion, when you need that client so badly that you can taste it, people sense your neediness. It repels opportunities. But when you do excellent work without attachment to immediate rewards, when you stop constantly checking for results and just focus on adding value, success finds you. You become someone people want to work with because you're not radiating desperation. Here's where most people get confused. Stopping caring doesn't mean stopping doing. It means releasing emotional attachment to specific outcomes while maintaining committed action. You still put in the work, you still show up every day, but you're not white-knuckling your way through life, constantly anxious about results. Imagine you're holding a butterfly in your closed fist. The tighter you squeeze, trying to keep it, the more you crush it. But if you open your hand and simply offer a place for it to rest, it might stay or it might fly away. Either way, you're not destroying something beautiful with your grip. That's the essence of detached effort. So how do you actually apply this in your daily life? Start by identifying areas where you're trying too hard. Where are you forcing outcomes? Where is your anxiety about results actually preventing those results from happening? Maybe it's your sleep, your dating life, your creative projects, or your business goals. Once you've identified these areas, practice what I call purposeful indifference. This means you continue taking action, but you emotionally detach from the outcome. You do your best work, then you let go. You send the email, submit the application, have the conversation, then you release your grip on what happens next. Here's a practical exercise you can start today. Choose one goal you've been obsessing over. For the next week, take consistent action toward it, but practice releasing thoughts about the outcome. Every time you catch yourself anxiously wondering about results, acknowledge the thought and let it pass. Redirect your focus to the present moment and the action right in front of you. You might be thinking, but won't I lose my motivation if I stop caring? This is the beautiful paradox. When you release desperate attachment, you actually gain clarity and energy. You're no longer wasting mental resources on anxiety and control. That energy becomes available for creative problem solving and inspired action. Consider the wisdom in this quote by Alan Watts. He said, "When you try to stay on the surface of the water, you sink, but when you try to sink, you float." The more you resist something, the more it persists. The more you chase something, the more it eludes you. The obstacle most people face is fear. They're afraid that if they stop caring intensely, they'll lose their edge. They believe their anxiety is somehow protecting them or driving them forward. But anxiety isn't fuel, it's friction. It creates resistance in your system. True power comes from relaxed focus, from doing what needs to be done without emotional drama about outcomes. Think about the best athletes in the world. In crucial moments, they're not tense and overthinking. They're in flow, trusting their training, present with the action, detached from the scoreboard. That detachment doesn't mean they don't want to win. It means they're not letting the desire to win interfere with their ability to perform. You can apply this same principle to your personal growth journey. Stop obsessing over becoming a better version of yourself. The very obsession creates a gap between who you are and who you want to be, and that gap generates suffering. Instead, take small, consistent actions toward growth without constantly measuring your progress. Trust the process, trust that small steps accumulate into massive transformation. Here's your challenge for today. Pick one thing you've been trying too hard at. Maybe it's trying to be happy, trying to find love, trying to get rich, or trying to be more confident. For the next 24 hours, practice engaged detachment. Keep taking action, but release your grip on the outcome. Notice what happens when you stop strangling your goals with desperate desire. Remember, the universe responds to your energy more than your effort. When you're relaxed, confident, and detached, you signal that you're already complete. That you don't need anything to be okay. That energy is attractive. It draws opportunities, people, and resources toward you. But when you're desperate and grasping, you signal lack and you repel the very things you seek. The law of reverse effect isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing everything with a light touch. It's about showing up fully while holding outcomes loosely. It's about trusting that when you align your actions with your values and release attachment to specific results, life has a way of surprising you with outcomes better than you imagined. So here's my question for you. What would change in your life if you stopped trying so hard and started trusting more? What would become possible if you released your death grip on your goals and simply enjoyed the journey? The answers might just transform everything.